Good morning, everyone. My name is Ray. I'm with Team S.T.E.A.M. And this morning I'm here at Flash Industrial Painting. And I've got this tanker that we're working on. It's a vac tank. And today I'm going to get some stripes put on it. So what we're going to do on this is a 6-inch stripe all the way down it with a 1-inch stripe beneath it and above it, 1 inch from it. So you'll see when we start to get it all laid out, I'm gonna make some marks and then I'm going to snap some chalk lines. That's the only way to guarantee you're gonna get a super straight stripe. And then we'll go from there. Now, if you ever need to snap a chalk line for any reason and you don't have any help, chalk lines always come with this little hook on the end, right? And you just hook it on the thing and then, you snap your line. But if there's nothing to hook to, like on this tank, a trick that I've always done, and I've done it for 25 years, if you end up working alone, and I'm working alone today because it's the weekend, I don't have anybody around, and I'm doing this one myself, which is fine. I've done dozens, if not hundreds of these myself. So here's a little trick I'll show you if you want to snap a line by yourself and you have anything to hook it to. I've got 1.5 inch masking tape here. You could use a lot of sizes. You could get away with 3/4 inch. I just use 1.5 inch. It's handy and it'll do the job. Get a piece, however long you feel comfortable with. Isolate this little hook and then place the tape on it. So it's got a little tape mustache now. And then we'll go ahead and stick it up here. You can see my marks. And I'm going to stick it up here in a way where I can pull it across there and it'll hang on its own. Now, if you're snapping a line, like I'm getting ready to do here, and you don't want all that excess chalk on the thing you're trying to snap a line on, and there will be a lot if you keep enough chalk in your chalk line to be effective, it's going to be a factor. So here's a little trick you can do to prevent that, is you just pull it snug, pull it good and snug, and then give it a little prick. And that'll get rid of everything that is going to be troublemaking, and then you can go ahead and do your process. Now I'll just do the same thing on the other side, and we're in business. Now I got my line snapped on both sides, all ready to go. And what I've got here is 6 rolls of vinyl tape. Fine line tape, vinyl tape, there's a few different titles for it. This is 1/4 inch. You could use a lot of different stuff for this, but 1/4 inch works best for what I'm doing here. And I don't even have to use 6 rolls, but it works really well if I have 6 new rolls. So that's where I'm gonna start. We'll start with the very top one. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually wipe this chalk line off here. I don't want to get under the edge of the tape. When it gets under the edge of the tape, it can create, it can ruin the seal of the tape. So then paint and primer can still get behind it by absorbing into the powder that's on there. So why even snap a line? I'll show you. I wipe this off, just the top line, not all the lines. Just to the point where I intend to stop with this stretch. And you don't want your stretch to be over 3 or 4 feet long because it gets hard to manage, and because if they're much longer than that, they tend to sag in the middle. Unless you pull them really hard, and if you pull them really hard, you can stretch it and change the dimensions of it altogether. You can thin out the tape, you can cause all kinds of problems. Now I'm going to stick it here on my spot. Now I know exactly where it needs to be. So I'm going to tack it here because I have this gap right here. Now I'm going to release some of this tension, because this tape, if you stretch it tight and stick it, it will retract over time and pull back away from things. So you have to give it some room. So I'll release this a little bit. At the same time I'm pushing this in. Same thing here. release it a little bit to give it that, what it needs for that little bit of extra, so this doesn't come back on me. Then stick it here. Now, you want to pull this back and hang it there, like that. You don't want to leave it hanging there by that, or that'll leave a little mark in your tape. When you go to pull it straight, there'll be a little bobble in your tape. But if you release the tension and just hang it from here, straight down, that won't happen. Now, you want to put even pressure with your palm. That's why you plant your fingers first and touch the palm to it. And then touch the palm to it, nice and straight. Otherwise, this tape will you'll tack it in place up here and then down here and then up here, and then your line will be going like this. If you want it straight, you got to plant your fingers and then put your palm on it very carefully, very gently. Now, light pressure, very light pressure. Now heavier pressure. Now it's good. Now you're good to go. Now I'm going to take this one, do another one. This one, do another one. This one, another one. This one, that one, this one, last one. And I'm going to run them all at the same time, so I can go down the side of this all at the same time. Same technique, same everything. Now we've got a little bit of a start here. We've got all 6 of them up here. And I'm just gonna go all the way down the side of the tank like this. Now as you can see, this is an uneven space compared to this. This is much smaller than this. Well, the reason is because this center stripe is a 6-inch stripe. And it's gonna be all encased between these 2 vinyl tape lines. Then this space is gonna remain red. This will be white, this will be red, this will be white. So I'm also going to tape in between these 2 vinyl lines. So there'll be tape here, masking here, tape here. Nothing here and nothing here. So technically from the outside of this to the outside of this is 1 inch. And technically from the inside of this to the inside of this is 1 inch. And you'll see when we get this unmasked that these 2 lines are actually the same size. This is gonna be a 1-inch line, this is gonna be a 1-inch line when we're all done. And that's how you get down the side. And next, I'll show you how you go around the back, which is dome shaped. So you can't just snap lines. You can't use any chalk line at all. It's all a series of tricks, especially on the one end. We'll get into that too. So what I did here is, we're at the back of this tank. And there's where we ended up after we striped down the side. And I need to go across here, but as you can see, this is right in the middle of it. So I took this beam down here and measured up from there, from right there up to this bottom line. And then I took that measurement, since this pipe does run straight across here, and duplicated it just about a foot away, right here, up to that line. So that'll get me pretty darn close. I think that's gonna work out good enough so where I can come on both sides of this, and it'll be the same on both sides. And so now we got that done. And that's the tougher of the 2 ends because of that canister. And now we'll go down the other side and finish up the other end.